So talking about the course content, what exactly is our course and what we will be moving with our demo lecture specifically. So talking about the agenda, we will be discussing on all these topics which comprises of security domain, what is a SOC, what is the hierarchy, roles, responsibilities of SOC and roles that works in the SOC. Apart from that, what is SIEM and what are the different SIEM tools that is being used widely across the organizations. Apart from that, what are TI sources, threat intelligence, then taxi, STX, and CTI. All this we will be discussing. So talking about the security, just going through the short part of the presentation on the theoretical part, I would like to give over here. After we complete or after we conclude on the theoretical part, I will be showcasing you on a live demo of a SIEM solution, as well as a live demo of SIEM solution IBM QRadar, like how exactly it looks and what I will be explaining you in more detail on that part. If you guys hear this carefully for the demo part, as well as in detail when you guys subscribe or when you get enrolled into this course. So we will be moving in much more detail, where we will cover for more about L1, L2 specific roles, L2, L1 and L2 specific roles, responsibilities, and as well as more on the L3. So it will be more on the practical part, which we will be focusing throughout the course, if it is being enrolled. Also, I will be covering EDR, that is endpoint detection and response. What exactly is the EDR? That I will be explaining you, and I will be giving you a demo of CrowdStrike EDR. So just for a short time, let's discuss on the theoretical part of the presentation. So yeah, if you guys are working or if you guys are planning to work into cybersecurity domain, there are multiple domains where you can focus, right? So it comes with the framework and standards, which comprises of governance part, risk assessment, security operation, security engineering, threat intelligence, and employee awareness. So specific to a security analyst, it comes with this part, that is security operations. Now, what is security operations? And what are the source, SIEM, and log analysis, monitoring, what is the detection, incident handling, forensic and IR, that is incident response, vulnerability management, BCP and DR. So all these terminologies we will be discussing throughout our course in much more detailed part. Okay. So talking about SOC. So what is SOC? SOC is Security Operations Center. It is a centralized platform or a centralized platform where mostly each and every multinational companies like TCS, Infosys, and apart from that, their product-based companies are also having their in-house SOC. Okay, so basically, SOC is Security Operations Center, where you will be as a security analyst, as a day-to-day, your role will be like you will be sitting into the SOC and you will be providing security to the applications, to the database, to the data centers, servers, as well as to the laptops or the workstations, or what I can say, desktops of the VVIPs, like CEOs, CTOs, and all. So you will specifically monitor, assess, and categorize whether there is a probable known cyber attack or not. Now, when I say cyber attack, means what? If there is some kind of malicious activity that happens throughout the activity that is being performed by the user, and if that activity results it to be something malicious or which can lead to credential getting stealing or some kind of money getting demanded, in that kind of possibilities or probabilities it triggers, then it can be concluded as a cyber attack. Okay, so we will be discussing or we will be focusing throughout our course or throughout our curriculum on most of the topics, or the SOC specifically is being built on three main blocks: people, process, and technology. So people means the resources, the person who are working into the SOC. Process means how exactly the flow is being defined for L1, L2, L3 resource. Security engineer, SOC engineer, incident responder, forensic analyst. So all this part of definition of work is being defined in process. Whereas when it comes to technology, it means the tools specifically that you all will be working in that you all will be using it while working in SOC. So all these specific tools we will be learning during our course, right? So IBM QRadar, Azure Sentinel, and CrowdStrike EDR. These three demo we will be covering in our demo session today. So talking about roles and responsibilities like L1, L2, lead analyst are the roles, or you will be working specifically in this specific roles when you get the opportunity to work in a SOC. So initially you will be starting with the L1, then with the L2, and then you will be slowly getting promoted to a lead analyst, then with L3, right? And then you will be slowly moving to a designation of manager. So coming to a designation of manager, it can vary with your experience, with your knowledge, and with your technical exposure specifically. So it can take somewhere around 8 to 12 years of experience to reach to a designation of a manager in SOC. So there are different models specifically to talk about SOC how organizations basically work. So if you keep a light on it, there are three specific models. One is in-house, one is MSSP, and one is hybrid SOC. So if I give you an example, like TCS is a cybersecurity TCS is a company that provides cybersecurity services. But there is also that TCS itself is a huge company. They themselves also be having their own security. So having your own security is known as in-house SOC. Whereas if you are providing services, like if TCS is providing cybersecurity services, then it is known as an MSSP service provider. And when I talk about hybrid SOC means what? It means like TCS is providing services to HDFC Bank as a client for cybersecurity services, but HDFC Bank is also having their people working in SOC. So it is a combination of in-house as well as MSSP. So that is known as a hybrid SOC. So as you can see over here, this is a short diagrammatic representation of what is people, process, and technology, which all these three blocks tends to combine and form a SOC. So when I talk about people, it means like SOC managers, shift lead, okay, malware analyst, L1, L2, threat hunters. All these are different kind of roles who work in the domain of SOC. So going through the course curriculum, we will be exploring on each and every roles and each and every responsibilities. But as a SOC analyst, how exactly as a L1 or a L2 resource you have to work, we will know in this demo part. Okay. Talking about process, as I said, there are different processes, as I explained, with the technology, like what tools, technologies that should be used. So, yeah. Moving on to the next slide, I gave you a short view of SOC roles like L1 role, L2 role, lead analyst. So, yeah, that comes the hierarchy. That is, at level 1, it comes as a L1 analyst, whereas at level 2, it comes as a L2 analyst or incident responder. The naming conventions can be different, but the roles and responsibilities are somewhat aligned in the same way to each other. Whereas when I talk about L3, it means like a L3. Sorry, when I talk about the third level, it means like L3 analyst or a L3 lead analyst or a SME or a hunter. So all these are aligned with some of the other different roles and responsibilities, but comes in third level. And the main part who manages the security operations center is a SOC manager. So talking about roles and responsibilities of L1, L2, and lead. L1 specifically is the first line of defense who will be monitoring all the alerts that comes into a SIEM solution. Now, what is an alert? Alert is specifically an suspicious activity that gets triggered into your environment, into the organization. So for that, an alert will trigger, and that alert will be monitored by L1, who will be performing 24/7 monitoring in shifts. Whereas L2, he will be working on the alerts that is being considered as a true positive by L1. Okay, he will be performing a deep, detailed analysis of a true positive alert, which is being defined by L1 resource. Now, what is a true positive alert? As I said 2 times, I just said that true positive alert will be checked by an L2 resource, which will be escalated by or which will be which is being considered by an L1 resource. So true positive alert means an alert which is being considered as a malicious activity, which is which can be a probable cyber attack, okay, or which has impacted your environment, is actually causing some consequences or impacting your environment. So that kind of activity that is being performed in an organization or an alert associated to this kind of activity is known as a true positive alert. So when I talk about lead responsibilities, he will be performing or managing mostly the onboarding of logs, like collecting the logs from multiple devices and giving it to the SIEM solution, designing the shift handover, who will be working in which shift. So that will be decided. Rosters will be planned, interacting with the support team, building the rules for detection of these alerts will be done by a lead. There are multiple roles and responsibilities that is being taken care, right? I just give a short overview. Considering the time as a factor, we want to cover the demo as well. So we will be discussing each and every roles and responsibilities in much more detail when the course is being enrolled. Yeah. So talking about the next part is about the SOC models. As I said, in-house, MSSP, and hybrid. I already covered all this part over here. Okay, there is one more, like global. Global SOC, or Global Security Operations Center, or GSOC. It means like providing cybersecurity or protecting the security of organizations that are present globally. Like TCS is an organization who provides Global Security Operations Center services to clients or to organizations like are working globally. For example, for Meta, for Google, they also hire multiple resources, right, from TCS as well. So this is how it means like a global SOC. So talking about SOC maturity model, if you keep a view over it just for a time being, it means like security perimeters, SIEM migration. All these are most of the technical terms which we will be covering. Yeah, that is being taken care by L1, L2, L3, L4, and L5 role-based analyst. So how to measure the specific SOC team performance is being done by MTTD and MTTR. MTTD means the time that is being taken by a SOC to detect an incident, whereas the time taken by an SOC to work on that incident means that alert is known as MTTD and MTTR. So there are multiple things over here to learn more into detail. Right? Talking about the SOC workflow, it is same like the SIEM solution, the SIEM solution, which I spoke about, IBM QRadar or Azure Sentinel, which is being used widely across the organizations, will trigger an alert which will capture the logs from these devices like Windows device, firewalls, switches, routers, defenders, etc. It will trigger an alert, and once the SIEM generates that alert, L1 analyst will pick up the alert. He will work on the alert. He will then share that detailed analysis to L2. L2 will cross-check, and he will share that alert to L3 or SME or a lead analyst, and L3 will consider it whether it is being required to take action, and accordingly, if he takes action, then he will take the action and again update the alert. If that alert is true positive, this will be the case. And if alert is false positive, now as I told, what is true positive? The same way, what is false positive? If false positive means the alert which is being triggered at your SIEM tool, and that alert is being, even though it seems as suspicious, but on investigation of that alert, we found it as not required to be escalated or not required to be raised because the activity seems to be genuine after investigation. So here you can see it is considered as a false positive, and then you close the case, that you close the alert. Now, multiple spoke about IBM QRadar, about Azure. So with respect to that, what exactly is SIEM? So SIEM basically is security information and event management. Okay. Security information and event management as a tool where it collects the logs from multiple devices like switches, routers. Okay. And then it provides the detection. So now let's move on. After much more detailed on the theoretical part, let's move on to the practicals, where I will give you a demo of how exactly a SIEM solution looks like. As you can see my screen, this is an SIM solution of IBM QRadar. Okay. Here you can see the dashboard of a SIM solution IBM QRadar. It provides a detailed representation of the data that you are receiving at the SIM platform. Okay. As you can see, these are the notifications that you receive at the SIM part at IBM QRadar, and a security engineer will be working on this. That is a L3 analyst or a lead analyst or an SME will be working on the error, on the notification specifically basis on the severity. So as a L1 analyst, your daily operations as your daily work task will be like you have to log into SIM platform, you have to check the dashboard, and if you find any of the error messages, any of the warning messages, you have to communicate to your L3 resource. You have to communicate via Teams, via email, and inform him about the notifications that you are receiving on your SIM platform. Parallelly, you have to check other dashboards as well, like what is the system summary. System summary, the main factor you check is about EPS, that is events per second. That is the events that you are receiving at your SIM solution at a second, at each second. So as you can see, for the production or the live demo which I am giving you, it is 381 events I am receiving in a second. Okay. So in last 24 hours, you can see around 31.9 million of the events is being received. So this is how you can see a dashboard. Also, while creating a dashboard, you can simply click on new dashboard. You can write the name, description, you can share. When you click on share means you can share this dashboard with multiple analysts as well. Parallelly, you can click on add item. You can select over here like offenses. When you click on offenses, you can click on most recent offenses. Then you will be able to see the most recent offenses dashboard over here. So this is the most recent offense. In the same way, there are multiple factors or multiple blocks which provides you a much more detailed, like event search is also there where you want to have a dashboard, or if there is a need from a SOC L3 analyst for you to show a dashboard. So this is how you can show. Okay. Parallelly, there are multiple dashboards which is being predefined by the IBM QRadar SIM solution. So this is one which I have created and which I have been practicing throughout my time period. This is also custom created. This is also this is provided by IBM QRadar, and this is how the dashboard looks. Okay, so moving on to the next tab, that is of offenses. Okay. Now, basically, what is an offense? Offense is basically an alert which gets triggered at an SIM solution. Whether that activity is suspicious or not, that is being decided by L1, L2, L3 analyst. Okay. Just when you open the alert, you can go through more details over here. After that, when you click on events, you can go through much more details over here for each and every event. That is of 796 events was the count. As you saw, this is 796 events. So you move much more detailed over here. And as you can see, this is a log, or these are the firewall deny events that is being received, that is being collected from this log source. Log source means from this device, a particular firewall. As you can see, much more details about this traffic, like what is this IP, source IP, destination IP, and you can narrow down more into the investigation, like what is this device, when it was being triggered, what is the start time, and all. Okay. So as you can see, the event which you will be receiving at your SIM solution IBM QRadar, it will be in this format, okay, which is not human readable format. Now, IBM QRadar, it has its own mechanism of making this data into a readable data. So that process is called as parsing. As you can see, this is the readable data. Okay, this is the readable data where the data is being collected from here and it is being mapped with this parameters or with this event ID, event details. As you can see, the source IP, just an example, I'm giving you 2-3 examples. Source IP is 3.144.239.16. So this IP is being mapped with this source IP, right? In the same way, if you see about the destination IP over here, you can see the destination IP is being mapped from this raw log or this events. So this whole box or this wrap of text is being called as a raw log in security terms. So from this raw log, the process of parsing is being done by IBM QRadar, and then you are able to see the logs in readable format. This is the readable log format logs. Okay. So this process is called as parsing. Okay. And as you can see, this is event count 4. Why it is event count 4? This process is called as coalescing. Coalescing means what? If there are 4 similar events, means just taking this example, there are 4 similar events that is being generated at the device end, which is being at the device end means at the FortiGate firewall end. And when you are collecting that events at firewall, instead of collecting 4 similar events, what IBM QRadar will do, it will coalesce the event. It will coalesce the event. Like it will compress the event into a single event, considering it as a single event. Why? Because all its values on its raw log is the same. So it will help the IBM QRadar to process more faster. So that's why it gets processed as 4 events, and when you open it, you are able to see one single event. So this process is known as coalescing. Coalescing means clubbing of the similar events into a single event. Whereas parsing means converting the non-readable data into this readable data is known as parsing. Okay. Normalization is the third terminology which is being specifically used, or which is being specifically asked in interviews as well. So normalization means what? Normalization means not only converting the data into readable format is parsing, but making it human understandable in a proper format based is known as normalization. So as you can see this screen, this is the normalization processed data, which is being mapped, everything is being done properly. So this is normalization. Okay. Now talking about this, I explained you one of the offense. Okay, like how an L1 analyst will be logging in. He will log into the dashboard. He will check what exactly are the dashboards and what all. Again, he will come to the offense tab. He will check what are the recently triggered offenses. Okay, assuming this as an example, me being an L1 analyst, I will be opening this offense. Okay, then I will check what is this offense proactive. Okay, just a second. I will open some critical offense or some. Okay, yeah. Potential data exfiltration offense. Okay, as you can see, what is this offense? It is like potential data exfiltration from an internal IP or some IP. The data is being sent to a remote IP. Now, what are these remote IPs? L1 analyst will click over here and he will check that to 2 IPs the traffic is being sent, or some data from internal IP is being sent to some other IPs. Now for more analysis, what we'll do, L1 analysis will open this, he will check over here, he will click on this 3 events, and he will be trying to move on more details or investigation of this. As you can see, the parsing is being done properly, means like the raw log which I have received over here, like on the send bytes, on the receive bytes, everything is being mapped or parsed properly. So once the parsing is being done properly, you can see the byte sent is huge amount of bytes, whereas byte received is very less. So this seems to be some suspicious activity. Now L1 analyst, he will raise a ticket in a ticketing solution stating that from source IP this to some destination IP this, there is a huge amount of traffic which is being observed with this many bytes as sent. So L1 analyst will also mention, as a L1 analyst, I will also mention that I will be escalating this to confirm whether the activity is legitimate or not. So L2 analyst, so in this way, the analyst from L1 will be escalating the alert. Okay. So this is how an offense looks. That is an alert looks, and L1 will be performing the preliminary investigation, and he will be escalating it to the other resource or the higher level, that is L2. Now talking about how exactly these alerts are getting triggered, you can see over here in rules. I'm just clicking over here on rules. These many rules are being written which are predefined by IBM QRadar, or else it is being written by the security engineers, L3 resources as well, as a lead analyst as well, as a SOC manager also. So these rules, what it will help basically to understand, okay, why exactly is this uh, alert getting triggered. Okay, so these are the rule conditions which is being defined mostly for a rule to be triggered. Okay, as you can see, for the port scanning activity, so these are the rule conditions it is being written. So through our course curriculum, we will be covering like how to write a rule, what is port scanning, how to write these conditions. I will be explaining you in much more detail. Okay? So that's the part, or that's the topic about offenses. Now I will be showing you the real-time logs that is being received at an SIEM platform. As you can see over here, it is a real streaming of data which I am receiving at my SIEM platform. That is, as you saw in dashboard, it is 381 events per second. So this is the events is being received at SIEM. Now, just to view this events, I will just click on last 5 minutes, and here after clicking on 5 minutes, the events will get received, but I will be just applying a filter to search the event. So over here, I can click and check each and every event. But practically investigating this each and every event or a raw log is not possible. For the same reason, there is a rule or a detection rule that is being written in SIEM, in IBM QRadar, to identify a suspicious pattern and accordingly trigger a suspicious activity. Right? That is how it goes. So that's about log activity. Followed by, there are multiple tabs like network activity, reports. Network activity means the network specific related activities that is being happening on the network devices, that is being logs from which you are collecting logs at SIEM. For reports also, there are some reports which you can predefinedly or create in your SIEM. So if you click on here, this is the geographical report. So you can manually create the report. You can also view what exactly this details is being providing and all. And accordingly, you can click the report, save the report, and then you can check. How to check? You can simply click on the PDF. You can also have the option of other format. You can click on action. You can create the report, edit the report, duplicate. Okay, it depends on the access which you are having, right? For L1 specific, L2 specific, the access will be different, differently presented for each and every organization. As for me, I am being the SOC manager, I have all the access, right? Covering all the tabs over here, right? So as an admin, I am having access to all the roles or all the parts you can see on the screen, right? So throughout our course tenure, I will be explaining you on each and every tab, on each and every module, which will mostly cover for L1, L2, as well as some scope of L3. So that is about one of the SIEM solution, IBM QRadar. Now, there are other tabs also like use case manager, Pulse, user analytics, which are already present in this, okay, in our admin tab. These are just the shortcuts that has been created. Just to go through it, or just an overview, I will just click on use case manager. Use case manager is nothing but the rules which I showed you in offense tab, but it is a better representation. I will be explaining you in much more detail, like how exactly a rule looks, how exactly it references to a framework or to some attack possibility, right? What are the conditions, how to write conditions, all these things is to be learned. Considering the time constraint, I will be just moving on to our next demo, to our next solution, that is Azure Sentinel. So coming to our next demo, it is about Azure Sentinel. As you can see the screen, this is Azure subscription which I have logged in. You can see the subscription, Microsoft Entra ID, followed by Microsoft Sentinel. So this is another SIEM solution. As you can see, I have just hovered over it, and you can see in the description over here what it is being written: see and stop the threats before they cause harm. With SIEM reinvented for a modern world, Microsoft Sentinel is your is your bird eye view across the enterprise.
So from here, you can understand that your SIEM solution, IBM QRadar, I will be giving a demo, which will be covering the scope of L1 and L2 analysis over here as well. So throughout the course, we will be having a detailed update or a detailed go through on each and every tab, on each and every modules. The way I showed you about IBM QRadar, it was a glimpse, and I tried to cover as much as possible in our demo session. But after the course enrollment, we will be covering in much more detail, and same for Azure Sentinel. As you can see in overview, now let's move on to the demo part of Azure Sentinel, that is on Microsoft Azure Sentinel. In overview, you can see the dashboards. This is another SIM solution which is being used widely by most of the organizations. Okay, IBM QRadar is also being used, and it is being used in mostly banking organizations. Means if you talk about one of the India's largest private bank, HDFC Bank, over there also IBM QRadar is being used. Okay, so apart from that, there are multiple government clients where IBM QRadar is being used. Uh, Also for mostly government projects like ISRO, uh, as well as for government projects like police projects. For those, this IBM QRadar is being used widely. So your future specifically in SOC will be brilliant, as you will be getting to learn on more tools and technologies uh, on this course curriculum. Yeah. So yeah, moving to the demo part for Azure Sentinel, you can see in overview, it is a dashboard which you can see the number of incidents that has been triggered in last 24 hours. Like what are the new alerts, what is the activity, how many of them you have closed, right? In total, what is the time frame? Like somewhere around 5 o'clock or somewhere around this time you have observed this many alerts. So as the L1 analyst, it's your responsibility to go through this dashboards in much detail and share if you find something suspicious to your lead analyst L3, sorry, to your lead analyst SME or L3 or as L2 as well sometimes, depending on your hierarchy that is being defined in the organization. So as you can see over here, the data that you have received in last 24 hours, you can see somewhere around 109 million of events received. Okay, whereas in last 24 hours, I have our SIM solution has received around 192. Okay, so this was a check that was performed at 5 o'clock. Okay, so this is an overview. Okay, so in analytics also you can see that there are somewhere around 331 analytical rules, out of which 31 has been disabled. Analytical rules means what? It is the same like how it is in IBM QRadar, the rules or the offenses. So we will learn more on this part. Moving on to the logs, you can see the logs that you are receiving at SIEM side. It is a query based language. So simply if you can click over here like email events, time frame generated in last 1 hour, I'm just running this query. It is a query based language where you have to run events in the basis of this time frame, right? Okay, so this is some KQL language, that is Custo query language. We will be learning through our course curriculum. Apart from that, the other tabs or the most important tab that a L1 analyst should view is of incidents. In incidents, you can see there are there are low, medium, and high alerts or high severity related alerts that gets triggered at SIEM Azure Sentinel. And as a L1, you have to investigate or dig down more into it, that like what exactly this alert is and how you have to investigate. So considering an example, I will be explaining you one of the alert over here. If you click on this CS suspicious, okay, let's take this high alert. Now, depending on the severity, that is low, medium, and high, you have to assign the alert to your name, and accordingly, you have to perform your investigation and escalate or update the alert to L2. On this basis only, the matrices which we discussed, like about MTTD and MTTR, is defined. So this is the theoretical part which I explained. That is the average time taken for the SOC to detect and assign the incident, whereas the average time taken for the SOC to take action on the incident. So this is MTTD and MTTR, which will be calculated practically when you start working in your industry. Okay, so taking with this example, like what is this CS suspicious activity? I will just open this. Okay, let's see what exactly this is. As a L1, you have to investigate in such kind of alerts when you start working in your industry. So for this CS means what? As a naming convention, it means CrowdStrike. So this is something that will be explained to you when you start working at the initial point. So for me, as me being an old and being an experienced person working over here, I am already aware about this part. So as you can see, the product name is Microsoft Sentinel. So for on this platform, this alert is being triggered, and as a L1 analyst responsibility, you have to check at what time it is being triggered. Okay, at what is the event that is being triggered. When you click on events, you get to see the KQL that gets executed over here, and with respect to that, there is a result that will be generated. Okay, as it is a CS suspicious activity alert, it simply means that a CrowdStrike is detecting this alert, and CrowdStrike related events I am receiving at my Azure side. So what exactly is this process and mechanism? We will surely learn on more details throughout our course curriculum. So just explaining about the alert, I will be showcasing you how exactly you have to investigate this. As I said that this is a CS based alert that is being triggered. So I will be investigating this, as this is just a notification alert for me to check the alert in CrowdStrike that is on EDR platform, whether it is a true positive or a false positive. Now hope you guys understand what is true positive and false positive the time I have it being explained. I am resharing my screen. As you saw, when I clicked on this link, which was an alert link, which was for a CrowdStrike alert. So I will be redirecting to CrowdStrike, and I have to log in with my credentials. So yeah, after logging into them to my with my credentials, I will be able to see the actual alert what it was being triggered at CrowdStrike. So it was somewhat related to a PowerShell execution on this host. Host means on this laptop or a desktop, and it was done by this user. Okay. So as you can see in the description, a process triggered a high severity custom rule. So on checking further, this is something PowerShell related script that is being executed. Now, what exactly is the PowerShell script executed on this laptop or on this machine? This was the command line. Okay, like PowerShell get sim instance namespace. Okay, so this is related to a antivirus product. So as a L1 analyst, we have to investigate what exactly this is. Okay, we need to confirm with the user if we are not able to understand this. Okay, so this alert basically which is being created at CrowdStrike is on the basis of a predefined rules or AI ML algorithms that is being defined or that is being created on endpoint detection and response, that is on EDR CrowdStrike. So this is the CrowdStrike platform which I will be explaining you throughout our course curriculum, depending on the alerts and flows, covering each and every tabs, each and every modules over here. So as a L1 analyst, I also have to investigate the hash value. Okay, so I will just copy this hash. I will go to VirusTotal, copy and check on the threat intel platform. These are the threat intel platforms, means the global platforms or open source platform to identify whether the hash value is malicious or not. Hash value means the value of a file, which is a secret value of a file, which defines whether the file is related to PowerShell or something related to some other file, right? In this way, you investigate your alerts and accordingly you type in your notepad and accordingly you escalate to your L2 analyst. Okay. So just talking about the investigation part, I will just explain you or I will just showcase you how exactly this alert should be or how exactly that alert should look. Just a second. As you saw about here details like about process action, how many processes are there, disk operation related processes are there. So each and everything needs to be discussed or each and everything needs to be analyzed in much more detail. You can see in event timeline also. Now what is event timeline? Event timeline means on timely basis of each and every activity that is being performed on that endpoint or on that machine. So yeah, so talking about owner, I'm just selecting my name just to. As you can see, these are the many alerts basically that is being triggered. I am again opening over here. Okay, so I'm just showcasing you the final investigation or final alert, how exactly it looks. In activity log, you can see these are the logs, or these are the way of formatting or escalating, writing your own comments over here, right? What exactly it is, what is an incident, how to frame it. So this is how our alert should be written and escalated further. So yeah, so this is how step by step we train and throughout our course curriculum.